Hey, welcome to the DBB channel. This is a One Piece TCG tutorial under 6 minutes. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Firstly, let's understand the different card types in the game. Now the first card is the leader card. Now it determines your whole deck in terms of the color you play and also the life you have access to. You can see the attacking power and the type of attack on the top right. You can view the number of life you have on the bottom right. The archetype of the leader can also be seen on the bottom of the card, which will affect specific gameplay. Now the second card is the Dawn card. It's the main resource of the game, similar to familiar games such as Memory in Digimon and Mana in Hearthstone. You can only have up to 10 maximum Dawn card in your Dawn deck, and we will talk about it later in the video. This also translates that you only have up to 10 maximum resources to play with. Dawn is used as a resource for your play calls, and it has another use, which is to power up your characters and leaders. It's important to take note that only active Dawn or unspent Dawn can be used to attach to your cards unless stated otherwise. Next card type is character cards. They're the main attackers of the deck. Cost of the cards can be seen on the top left hand corner, attacking power and type on the top right, archetype on the bottom. Now if you look closely, you'll notice a counter plus 1000 in this example of Frankie, which is important in the gameplay of the One Piece TCG. More on this in the later part of the video. Now, not all characters are built the same. Some have various strong abilities and require specific conditions to activate them. A trade-off for these awesome abilities would be the lack of the counter text. An example with Zoro here, Dawn X1 requires one Dawn card underneath him to allow him to be buffed another 1k power. The next example with Kaido here, Dawn -5 requires you to return 5 Dawn cards to the Dawn deck from your field. Attached or rested Dawn can be used for this cost. Next, with another example, Sentomaru. If you look at it carefully, it states a 2 with a circle around it. Now this simply means it requires you to rest 2 active Dawn to activate its ability. Pretty simple, right? Our next example will be Usopp. It has a trigger ability and it's easy to identify with the flashing yellow text. Trigger cards allow you to play the card for free when checked at your life/security. Now Tony Chopper here has a blocker ability. It's able to redirect the incoming attack to itself, similar to blockers in Digimon. Moving on to our next card type, event cards. They're effectively the spells of the game. It has a main effect and often paired alongside a trigger ability. Similar to character cards, not all event cards are built the same. Some of the trigger ability in event cards act differently from its main effect, such as the example of Diable Jumbe here. Next, some event cards are what you call counter event cards. This card type can only be casted during the counter phase, more on this later. Lastly, you have the stage card. It's effectively the field spell of the game. Each player can have up to 1 stage card per person. With the cards type out of the way, we can finally take a look at the placement of the cards. Now first up is the character area. This is where you mainly play your characters. There's a limit of 5 characters on the field and they do have summoning sickness where they are unable to swing the same turn they were played. The leader card, stage card, deck, trash, cost area, Dawn deck and life are all pretty self-explanatory here. Next, let's talk about how to play the game. There are 2 main victory conditions: landing a successful attack on your opponent leader when they are at 0 life, and when your opponent has 0 cards left in their deck. Now the deck requirement as follows: you need 1 leader card, a 50 card deck and a 10 Dawn card deck. Now the 50 card deck has to follow the color of the leader card and only up to 4 copies of the same card number can be played. As we learn how to play the game, let's now learn how to start the game. Now determine who goes first. Both players will have to draw the top 5 cards of their deck as their hand. Mulligan do exist in this game as only available only once. Determine whether you like your starting hand. If not, you can shuffle back your hand into the deck and redraw 5. Afterwards, do place the top X cards of your deck as your life face down. The number X is determined by your leader. Now let's learn the flow of the game. There are mainly 5 phases: refresh phase, draw phase, dawn phase, main phase, and end phase. Now the first one is the refresh phase. Here you set all rested cards on the field as active and return all the attached dawn on the field to the cost area. Next, the draw phase, where you simply draw a card. Onwards to the dawn phase, you place 2 dawn cards from the dawn deck to your cost area, gaining 2 more resources every turn. Then we have the main phase. Here in this main phase, in no particular order, you can play a card, attach dawn cards, use a card effect, and attack your opponent's leader and characters. Finally, we have the end phase, where simply is where your opponents start their own phases. Some final details to take note, especially for the players going first. First player is unable to draw at the start of the game, and they are only able to dawn 1 during the dawn phase. Subsequently, they will be able to dawn 2 as per usual. Lastly, leader is only able to attack on the player's respective second turn. Finally, we are on our last concept, which is the flow of battles that happens in the main phase. Now there are 4 steps in the battle and they are as follows: the attack step, block step, counter step, and the damage step. Now the attack step is simply resting your active leader or character and designate a target to attack. Anywhere attacking effects will proc here after the target is selected. You are not able to target an active character as a target unless stated otherwise. Next, we do have the block step. Now the player being attacked may activate their blocker's ability. In a counter step, the player being attacked may play a counter card from their hand. There is no limit to how many counter cards they can play, so they can play up to 5 if they wish to. Lastly, we have the damage step. We compare the power of the attacking and defending cards. The attacking card will win if its power is greater than or equal to the power of the card being attacked, which will lead to the following outcomes. Now the first damage stat outcome, if a leader is attacked, the defeated leader takes 1 damage, the player then adds 1 card from the life area to hand. Now if that card has a trigger ability, he or she may reveal the card and activate its trigger ability. Now if that player's life is at 0, he or she instantly loses the game. Next, another scenario where the character is being attacked instead. Now the defeated character is KO'd and trashed, however if the attacking character is defeated, nothing happens, no character actually gets sent to the trash then. With that, you guys have finally understand the flow of the game and the battles. Hope you all enjoyed the quick tutorial and all the best to being the king of pirates.